Hey guys, what's up? I'm just going to say this. Astrophotography is awesome and it's really stupid. See, I have this cognitive dissonance about it. I only think it's stupid when I start really looking into the huge amount of money and knowledge required to do it even just a fraction as well as it can be done. You know, I always kind of thought telescopes were cool. I wanted one really bad. You see those telescopes in a department store and there's little pictures of galaxies and nebulas and Jupiter and all that stuff. And it's like I wanted to unlock the mysteries of the universe and all that stuff. And I did some research and I bought one on eBay when I was like 20-something years old. 20 years old. I just moved to this house. I had to hide it from my wife because we didn't need to spend the money, but I wanted a telescope. And I spent $200 or so, 250. I think it was a 4.5 reflector, and it had an EQ mount, which I thought was so cool, you know, because it's got the weight hanging off of it and all that stuff. I was so excited. I got it assembled. I got it balanced. I took it out somewhere really dark, and I found the Orion Nebula, and I was just completely blown away because it was this tiny little fuzzy cloud. You could just barely see. It had no color. It was just white-gray, no contrast. It was just a speck of fuzz on the eyepiece, and I was like, yeah, this is supposed to be the most dramatic thing in the sky, and it looks like nothing. I ended up selling that back on eBay for about what I paid for it, so at least I did okay there. A few years later, I bought a Canon 10D digital camera. This is the first good digital camera I had. This was around 2005. And one of the first things I tried photographing was stars, you know, and it wasn't horrible. It wasn't all that great either, but I didn't really have the right lens or knowledge or ability. I didn't really know how to really get good star pictures yet. It wasn't until many years later I got the Canon 14mm f2.8 on, I think, my T4i that I started actually being able to take photos of the Milky Way, which they're not great, but they're decent. You can actually see the Milky Way. So every few years, something leads me down this astrophotography rabbit hole. Recently, it was just a random YouTube video. It was really excellent. Two huge astrophotography YouTubers, Nebula Photos, I think, and Astro Backyard. They did a challenge with low-end DSLRs and the cheap 75 to 300 millimeter Canon lens, which I happen to have. Their photos were incredible, and they show that skill and knowledge are far more important than equipment. But you also have to have an astro tracker. You can't do it without that very important piece of equipment. See, the stars are always moving, and to get good photos, you need to take long exposure photos. And if you don't, then you're going to get these star trails where the light of the star moving shows up after a few seconds of exposure. So the device you need is called a star tracker, which rotates the camera to oppose the rotation of the Earth, and then you get nice pointy stars that look really good. But of course, you probably need a more stable tripod, then you might need some special filters, and then you might actually just go ahead and get a telescope, and then you'll get this auto guider, and then you'll get a dedicated astrophotography CCD, and pretty soon you've spent thousands of dollars to take photos that are about 1/100th as good as the Hubble telescope. See, that's the biggest problem for me with astrophotography. Everyone is looking at the same stars. They're in the same place year after year, and you're just photographing them up there. There's really not a lot of creative choices being made. It's like, who can photograph it the best, with the best equipment, the best skills, the best knowledge. So you're never gonna beat the pros. You're never gonna beat NASA. You're never gonna beat the Hubble telescope. You're never gonna beat the universities. So all you're going to do is get better, learn more, and take better photographs. So in a way, is it that different from any other kind of photography? I don't know. So there's a lot of stuff up there to choose from. The other night I decided to take some photos with my 5D Mark II and my 200mm f2.8. I did this in my light-polluted front yard, and I pointed my lens at the brightest star in the sky and took a series of 3-second exposures. Later, I found out that I was photographing Vega, the 5th brightest star in the night sky. And it took me an hour to figure that out. And in that time, I researched a little bit about the entire Lyra constellation and the area around it. It was really fun. I had a really good time doing that. So maybe a small investment in a star tracker wouldn't be that bad. They're only about $400, so see you guys.